Hello, everybody. You have joined the Script Mistress for Scene 6, the September winner, Joseph A. Johnson. I am your host, Amber Bosworth, and I am so excited to bring you this incredible episode. He is the first winner of the rebooted Ink to Screen Screenwriting Challenge, the one that I run every month. Screenwriting Challenge every month. I run it the third week of every month. We just wrapped up our October challenge. The finalists won't be announced until November 13th and the winner on November 14th, just in time for the November challenge to begin on November 16th. Yes, so the weekend right before Thanksgiving, so no excuses to come and write for us. Now, if you're just finding me, just listening in, give you a little bit of background, the Script Mistress is the one that hosts the Ink to Screen challenges. About 2 years ago, I had to quit doing these Ink to Screen challenges. That's back when I was just Ink to Screen, and that was due to COVID. So I had a great group of writers that kept encouraging me to bring it back. So I really wanted to bring it back, and I just restarted it last month, and I'm so excited. So the Ink to Screen challenge is that writers get 5 days to write a brand new 5-page script based on a prompt sent out the day of the challenge. Now, sometimes the prompt can be an image, but unlike this month for October, I sent out kind of more of a theme, an idea, concept, 4 phobias. They got to choose one of the 4 phobias to center their script around. Writers sign up not knowing what prompt they will get. The challenge runs from Wednesday at midnight or 0001 a.m. and goes until Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. And that is when the prompt is set out, right at 0001 a.m. that Wednesday. The winner gets $150 prize, just the one, plus them. They get published with the 5 finalists to the website on a special page, all for the Ink to Screen winners. So they have a place for their writing, and they get an interview on this podcast, which I'm doing now. Writers also get an in-depth feedback on their script. It doesn't matter if you win, as long as you submit a 5-page script. Even if you don't get it in on time, you're not qualified for the prize. But if you submit a script for me within that time period and for the rest of the month, if you get it into me, then you get an in-depth feedback on that script. I read them. I provide feedback right on their script. I highlight areas where to help them with their format, story, character development, and even pacing. They also get a full page coverage breaking down what they excelled at and what they can do to improve their writing. Now, all of this is included with their $15 entry fee. So $15 to get a full feedback on your script, whether or not you win or you make the top 5. The next challenge for November is open for registration right now. So check it all out at www.thescriptmistress.com/ink2screen. That's INK, the number 2, screen, SCREEN. Now, let's get to the interview. Joseph A. Johnson was the winner of our first challenge last month for September. The prompt was an image of a hand reaching out in an attempt to hold the sun. His entry was titled Know-It-All. The logline: when a know-it-all curmudgeon encounters a stranger in a crazy predicament, his smarty pants nature may be a help, or it may destroy the world. Now, back when Ink to Screen first ran several years ago, Joseph also won one of those as well. So he is an incredible writer. I'm so excited that he was able to win this one and that I will get to interview him. But let him describe his writing and see what he has to say. So here's the interview. Hello, everybody. I am with Joseph A. Johnson. How are you, Joseph?
I am doing pretty good. Pretty good. My kid is away for
That's
my kid is
awesome.
away for outdoor school for the week, so it's just me in the house, and it's kind of weird.
Oh, that's nice. Are you getting some writing done?
you know, uh, I did a little bit of writing yesterday, and I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything today. I just got home from work, so you know.
Mm.
I'll get some
Oh, no,
stuff
that's
done. This
fine.
is gonna be,
I do a little
this
writing.
this
Yep.
is recorded, so I mean, I've been working hard.
Yes, recording. So we said it here. Yeah. He said it here. He's gonna do it. He's gonna write. Well, I mean, we have some results on other things coming up. So when this airs on Friday, we should know already, yeah?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Y Yeah, I'll see how that goes, right? Yes. Alright, let me pull up yeah, I'm like a interviewer. I interview people. Alright. So we got Joseph A. Johnson. So, I let everybody know you're the September winner. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mhm. And I know you write so many things just so quickly. I know it's, like, all out of your head, but do you remember the title of your script?
What this one was, which was this one? Now oh, Know It All. This was Know It All. Yes.
No, oh, yes. And I wrote down the log line just because I didn't know if you remembered
I do not. That was a
what it
busy
was.
weekend. That was a
I don't
busy
remember all my
weekend.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it was. It was a very busy weekend. So I wrote it when a know-it-all curmudgeon encounters a stranger in a crazy predicament, his smarty pants nature may be a help or it may destroy the world.
Which was a
I like we didn't give too much away. Let's see what he does. Mhm. Yes. So, how long I know we've talked before. We had our interview before,
was
long time ago.
just a couple of years
World
now.
has changed.
Yes.
So, yeah, I know. I was surprised. I'm like, "Holy crap. It's been a couple of years." So, how long have you been screenwriting now? And like the
Well,
putting everything together?
plus
Does
2
that
years, right? So, like, I sta so screenwriting specifically, I started in around 2018. So it's been, um, for,
Mhm.
like, a solid 4 years of writing screenplays specifically. Um,
Mhm.
I I have been doing I'd done writing for a long time. I did, like, little sketches here and there for, like, a group that I was in college. I wrote stuff when I was even a little kid, just wrote little stories. But, like, I always was interested in movies way more than anything else. And and so, like, once I just got up the courage to say, "Hey, I can fail at this," I started I started writing. It's okay to fail, right? So that's where I
I
am.
love that. That's perfect. I can fail at this, like, and that's a good way. I mean, not that you're going well, we all kind of fail in certain ways throughout the process until we don't. But coming in, that's a good mindset. I like that. I can fail at this. I'm gonna steal that from you. See? So what made you want to sign up for Ink to Screen again?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, like, Ink to Screen has been like it was super formative for me because having like 5 days actually is a lot of time for a 5 page script. Um, but
Mhm.
having to condense all of your thoughts, all of the beats that you want to get out into 5 pages is tough. And like so it
Mhm.
really taught me a lot about how to say as much as I can with very little space and very little, like I don't get to
Mhm.
meander on dialogue. I don't get to do like what I'm doing right now, which is just go on and on and on. I have to say boom, boom, boom. I have to get there as soon as I can. Um, yeah, like it really made me a better screenwriter. So like when you opened it up again, I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm gonna do this. So
Nice. All right. So that's awesome. I'm so glad. That makes me so happy because you and quite a few others like really gave me the inspiration to definitely bring it back for you guys. I love that I could do that.
well, I'm happy about it.
Um, how long did it take you to come up? Oh, yeah, yes. How long did it take you to come up with this awesome concept from the
Okay,
image?
so it actually didn't take me long to come up with the concept. Um, so the last time I did Inks to Screen, there was a very similar image that you had with hands and sun. It's a little different, but it's very similar. And that time I did a very like deep, dark, like not dark, but like a deeper piece about like something very like heavy. Um and
Mhm.
and it incorporated the image, but it wasn't like very it wasn't so on the nose is what I did this time. So this time I decided I would do something very like very on the nose, and I thought it would just be it was funny to me. And I have a super long commute. I have a 45-minute commute to work.
Ooh.
So I had that's a lot of time to think. So I'm like, what if somebody was just to actually hold the sun in their hands? And then my brain just took it like to the most and then when I got to like what would be really a good twist, oh, this would be hilarious. And I just was cracking myself up. So I was like, I'll just write this down. And plus, as you know, that weekend was also the first round. Was it the first or second round of NY?
Second.
Yeah, second round of new NYC Midnight. So I knew I had to like get both of them in at the same like quickly. And also one of my friends was getting married that weekend. And
Wow.
and so it was it was ink to screen, wedding, NYCM, like, and it went in that order. And so, and like by the time the wedding happened, I was like, I think I have an idea for NYCM, but I've already done my ink to screen, so I had to knock them out real
Y
quick. So,
No, obviously it worked. It worked for you for the ink to screen. Definitely. I'm glad the wedding went well. That's awesome. I felt bad. I thought about it when I'm like, "Oh my god, yep." And I know a lot of it because I did, the same thing, but I didn't have to do ink to screen.
right.
So, but I did have to like be there for you guys and do all the things and just like go crazy on that weekend. So, and I think, yeah, I had one of them where I had to do a funeral. I went to my cousin died, so I had
Oh,
to
I'm
go to a
sorry.
funeral during, I think, round 1. Thank you. Yeah, so round 1. So yeah, it's just I love it that it still like inspires and still motivates you that you can do it. You can find those pockets to definitely get that stuff done. Um so what was or is the most challenging part about writing these short scripts?
It's definitely the space. The space is the hardest because like and I'm not gonna say anything about what I did for this most recent ink the screen, but I had a my initial
Mhm.
idea. Uh I thought it was really a good one. But it just I couldn't make it work in 5 pages. Like I had so much story to kind of get to where I wanted to get that I was like, if it was 8 pages, I could have done it, but 5 pages, I can't do it. And I mean, I probably could have done it, but I just didn't have the time to like really like figure out how to condense it. And so it is
Mhm.
because it's not the time constraint. Like and normally 5 days and 5 pages is great, but it's trying to find like
Mhm.
how to say everything you want to say in that short amount of time and get a not just a good like set of events that happen, but like how can I tell a story? Like how can I get a beginning, a middle, an end? How can I end it
Mhm.
strong? How can I start it strong? Like how can I get from this
Mhm.
like I mean a second act swamp is still it still exists in a 5 page script, because it could just turn into
Mhm.
like, I know how I want to start and I know how I want to end, and all this is just a bunch of dialogue that just it can happen. It could just be a bunch of
Yeah.
exposition. So trying to figure out
Yes.
like how can I get like these beats, boom, 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 boom. And so that's always the most challenging part of a short script.
Mhm. Yes, yes. And you do it so well. Like your pacing and everything, you're able to get those beats in without making it feel rushed, which I think is really awesome. And I really, yeah, really do like that, obviously.
Oh, thank you.
And what is your favorite aspect of writing scripts?
I so his like I know a lot of like writers are very, and I need to be better at this, but very methodical. Like they need to know the story before they put their fingers to the keyboard. Like they need to know every beat. I cannot do that. Like I cannot figure out characters unless I have dialogue. And so my favorite thing is to write dialogue, because then once I kind of write dialogue and I kind of like start, like it'll start off pretty clunky, and then I like, as I write and I figure out, oh, this is how they sound, like this is how they speak. Then I feel like I know the
Mhm.
character better, and then I like just throw everything away, and and then I'll start over. Especially with short scripts, I'll start over, and I'm like, this is how they sound.
Mhm.
This is what they're like. This is and so my favorite thing is just kind of discovering the character in the process of writing. um and then I get to discover, like, oh well, this is the kind of decision that they might make in this particular situation. So like
Mhm.
with Know It All, I already knew the premise, right? The premise was a guy holds up the sun, and another guy tells him that that's dumb. um, but I had a bunch of false starts where, like, it was always a guy there holding up the sun. But the guy who approached him, it was a guy coming out of a hardware store. And once it was a guy coming out of a different store. Like it was a guy coming out of a store and just saw a guy.
Mhm.
And I was like, but then once I hit upon this guy of this aspect where he is just like, I'm like, what kind of guy would just stop and scold a person? Oh, he would have to be an incredible douche, right? Like, he would have to be an incredible douche. Oh, so like now like this is, and then it came like the texts and the phone and all of those stuff kind of came into it, because I got to discover the character and kind of, because the other guys, I let them talk for a little bit and I was like, this is not right. But once I kind of like, he's got to be the worst person, and then there he
Mhm.
was, and there he was, and then he like, and now he made total sense. And the other guy was just like a happy-go-lucky kind of dunce, and he was easier because he was just he was just like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. Like, oh yeah, I'll do anything for you. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I liked, I mean, a big thing too, and I've gotten questions on this from new writers that are coming into the ink to screen that weren't there before with you guys. How you layer in your subplots too, like that guy who is gonna go and hold or making fun of him, how he was having an issue with his wife or his ex, and it layered it in and it made it sense. You made it make sense. Like a lot of them just wrote things where I'm like, well, why did they do this? Like, give us something. Like, even if it's just a little bit, if it's just in the way they talk or something, that is what really helps layer and something you use even on a feature film. You really want to use that. You really want something where your character can dig in. And I love, yeah, that's why I liked it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with characters, is that like, it just, like, yeah, like you say, just give them something. Like, who is your character? Like I wrote something for
Mhm.
what was it? The writing battle in May,
Mm,
and it won. It won in
okay.
the, like, in the category it was in, which was
Yeah.
a breakup story.
Hmm.
It was a breakup story, and the it was kind of featured. It was kind of set up like NYCM, where you have the genre,
Hmm.
a object, and like a topic, or no, a setting, a setting. And so I got
Mm, hmm.
wasteland. So it was a breakup story. It was in a wasteland, and it was a skate that had to be in there. And and it was a break. And I was like, well, number one, breakup stories are not genres; they're like subgenres. But that's a whole other thing. Um, but
Yeah.
so I was like, how do you do a breakup story in a wasteland? And like, the first thing that popped to your mind, obviously, when these contests happen, the first thing that pops in your mind, you automatically kind of throw it out because you're like, all right, everybody's thinking that. That's the most obvious thing you can do. So so you do the second most obvious
Mhm.
thing you can do.
Yeah.
And so like the way I did it was that I had like a woman and the whole wasteland was in her mind. And she was like in the midst of going through a breakup or in the midst of being where she needs to be in a breakup. And like everything that happens was in her, like, and it's called the in between. And everything that happened was in the blink of an eye. And like she closes her eyes, and when she opens them up, she's made her decision. Um, but like having her like have all of these various aspects of herself show in various different forms and see what her life is going through. Um, it you can make like it made the character pop a little bit more. So like she seemed like a flat character, but it turns out
Mm.
that like everybody she sees in this wasteland, because it's all in her mind, is her. So like now you get to see different aspects of the same character in
Mm.
di- and so like if like this is who this person is, even if you just have to know the character. You just have to know who the character is. So like if I knew that this dude was a douchebag, I'm like, nobody is just a douchebag, right? Like nobody is just a jerk. We think people are
Yeah.
just jerks because we encounter them and they were like, that person was a jerk to me. I don't like him. But if you met that person like an
Mhm.
hour before and they got into a screaming match with their teenager, well, now is that person still? They might still be a jerk to you.
Mhm.
Like that's fair. That's not going to change. But at least now you know why. Is because they just had a huge fight with their teenager who used their credit card without their permission. Right now, oh, their jerkiness makes sense. I still don't like it, but it makes sense. All of that stuff. And
Mhm.
you don't even have to put it in the script necessarily. You can know it. And as long as you know it, it can like
Mhm.
come up. So like I for this one,
Yeah.
I don't know the exact nature of their breakup. Like I don't know. I just know that he was going through something, and the thing that made him the person that he was, like the thing that made his relationship fail is the thing that made him do what he did in this script. He couldn't help himself. And the fact that she brought it up made him it made him dig in worse because he's a tragic character. So it made him dig in worse.
Yeah.
So like, and some of this stuff is like when you like some of it is like when you write a lot, it becomes second nature, right? Like you don't like what you have to
Yes.
do. Eventually, it's like
Mhm.
like sometimes like you need classes to tell you, hey, this is what you need to look for. This is what you need to look for. Try to do this. Try to do that. Try to make it mechanical. But after you do it a lot, it stops being mechanical and starts being intuitive. You're like, oh, I just need to know more about this character. And it's
Mhm.
so the real issue
Yeah.
is just write more. Honestly. Like just write more.
That's his advice. Write more, people. Write
Also, and
more.
this is something
Come to the challenges.
also, this is one other thing that I like to say about character and people is just get to know people. Like know people in your regular life.
Mhm.
Um, People that are different than you, people that you wouldn't necessarily hang out with. Talk to them. I tend to write more women than I write men, which is weird. Um, but like I talk to a lot of women, like just platonic conversations a lot. And so like I like a lot of women will like, and it's not like I'm asking them to tell me things, and I'm not mining for like writing data. It's just like, oh cool, like we're
Mm.
friends and you're telling me this stuff, and it's cool that we get to be friends. And this is 100% just about being two people or in a friendship.
Mhm.
But then like as you write, you're like,
Yes.
I remember, oh, this women deal with this thing. Oh, and I'm writing this woman character. I wonder if this would apply to her, and kind of like play with it. Like, oh yeah, like this character, this fits her. Um, and it's just because you get to know
Mhm.
people. So So write a lot and know a lot of people. That's all you can do.
Yes. Yes. I love it. That's great advice. See, he said you need to come and join the Ink to Screen and
Join Ink to
you'll write a
Screen.
lot more.
Join Ink to Screen.
What Yeah. Yes, join it. What are you currently working on? Like besides all these short, or is there anything like big you're working on, or you got things in the
Okay,
works?
so since we last interviewed, I was hired to do a
Mhm.
rewrite for a movie. Here's the I grabbed the postcard. Um, so can you see it?
There you
It's
go.
kind of hard to see. Half Sisters.
Yeah.
So it was.
Half
So
sisters. Okay.
I is starring um, Christy Dawn Dinsmore from she was from Vikings. Um, and so I did that. It was shot and we got to see a screening. So now I'm still looking for a distribution. And then the director asked me to write an adaptation of a novel. So that's the thing that I'm working on that I nearly really need to be working on. It's going so slow. Um, like, have you seen if you've seen the movie
Mhm.
adaptation? Like, I 100% feel like Nicolas Cage in that movie. I'm like, oh, my brain. so, um,
Mhm.
but yeah, like it's and also like unlike Nicolas Cage in that movie, like I have like a full time job that I do, and also raising a kid, so it gets rough.
Mhm.
so,
Yes.
um, so I'm
Yes.
only on like page 35.
I am right there with you.
so
Yeah.
so but
Well, I'm rewriting one of my own and
it
yeah.
it gets you gets bogged down. Like I'm like, oh man, I only have like an hour to write
Mhm.
a day, if that. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, but that's what I'm working on right now. And obviously NYCM, which is I don't
Mhm.
know how I had a comedy, and I haven't done too many comedies, right? so
I think you're okay with comedy there, Joseph. He wrote a comedy, everybody, and I'm gonna like people listening or watching or whatever, like you can read his work on the website www.thescriptmistress.com/ink winners INKWINNERS, and you can read his comedy. That's great. Yes. Yeah, I got a historical fiction, which I've
ooh,
and no, that was my first one. Historical fiction was my first one, and I got second place for that. And the second round I got a
ooh,
heist. Yeah, crime heist. Yeah, and I kind of did Oliver Twist meets the Italian
nice.
Job.
I did so the first one. I What did I get for the first one? Oliver Twist. Oh, it just dawned on me like Oliver Twist. Okay, I'm mad I didn't read that one. I wish I read it. Let's see. Um, what did I get? I can't remember what I got for the first one. I know I got 8. I got 8 on it.
Mm,
Oh, I remember. I had horror on the first one, which I thought
mm,
I was really struggling with that one. And then I finally got something down, and it was fine. It was fine. I thought it was
mhm.
fine, and it got an 8.
It was
It got an 8,
fine.
which I'm
I got
like,
8.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And then I got comedy,
Mhm.
and it it was
Mm,
it was comedy, like it's a lot of slapstick, but it didn't end like on a it didn't have a comedy button, it didn't have a comedy punch. It was more like a I'm trying to think
mm,
what it would be like. I'm trying to think like it's like The Office kind of in tone, but
mhm.
the ending
Okay.
it wasn't dramatic, but it was like a kind of a heartfelt ending. I don't know how to I'm trying to just like liken it to something, but I will say that it's probably one of my favorite characters that I've ever written in anything that I've written. And it's
Ah,
the first time that I ever wrote a flat
yeah.
arc, which was nice. I've never written a flat arc before. So it was nice to kind of and I didn't mean to. I just was like again, with the short ones, you kind of like plan out so much as you can and you're like, all right, I'm gonna try to run through it real
Yep.
quick. And so I didn't have an ending as planned out as I wanted to. But by the time I got to it, I was like, huh, I like this. And then I realized, oh, this was a flat arc. Okay. That's what it's like.
Yeah. And okay, so that's like people listening. See, this is what happens when you do these challenges and you actually push, you figure out and that character you create, that's amazing. Like and you know you can that's in your back
Right.
pocket now. That's something you've created that you could bring back again somewhere else and that is the best part of these. That's why I love doing them. That's why I love
Yeah,
doing
it's
this.
great.
Yep.
I like, and the other
um
thing about
mhm.
writing these shorts is that you build up quite like a resume of shorts. Like I have so many short scripts just floating around. I like
Yes.
literally I have so many that I just every year I just copyright them and like I have to do them like in mass like a
Mhm.
10 at a time because there's so many of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it does like if you like for Ink to Screen, and for NYCM2, you have to do a log line and it's great because now you have this log line. You memorize, you write them all down, you have these log lines, you go to a producer, you go to a director, whatever. Look, I got this, like
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
it. I would just have to flesh it out,
Yeah,
but
exactly. Like, yeah,
I love that.
I love writing shorts, so it's great.
Yeah. Shorts are fun. So do you have a place where we can find you and your work? Like
I do not have
if you wanna give out
I
your
other
information, no?
than like just I don't have much because I'm a terrible self promoter. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm bad at self promotion. Um, so mostly I like you. Yeah, you just kind of see me floating around on socials, but like I don't have like a web page
Mhm.
and I'm like I'm saying this, and I know some people will yell
Mhm.
at me like, "You need to have this together." Like my cover fly
Mm.
will like email me like, "You need to work on your cover flies." Like, they'll send me the email and just like, "Your cover fly needs some tender loving care." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I know."
Yeah, yeah. Well, and a lot aren't. I'm much better like, somebody said I needed to work on my bio page, and I'm like, "Ah, crap. Okay." I'm better at promoting you guys than I am at self-promotion
Yeah,
too, so I totally
yeah. But
understand.
I do
Alright,
have an
and how about do you
IMDb
have
page
any
though. I
oh,
do have an
go go
IMDb page now.
Yes.
It is it
Okay.
is it is
Awesome. Because
actually
of the half
it
sisters?
is for half sisters. It's J. Alexander Johnson is the page. So which is nice.
J. Alexander Johnson.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. This is not that's awesome. I think I have more acting credits on IMDb than I do writing. I don't think I have any writing, but I have the acting on there. Do you have any advice for those just starting out
Like I said, just write.
script
Just
writing?
write. And
Mhm.
don't
You did.
don't be
Yeah. You did.
afraid to fail. Like just like what made me get started so late was that I was afraid to fail. And so like just don't be afraid to fail. Like you just write
Mhm.
some stinkers. Just write some stinkers. Just write stuff that is terrible, that nobody will read, that's clunky, that's got bad format, that's got bad log
Mhm.
lines, that's got bad dialogue. Um, just
Yes.
do just get all of that stuff out of your system so that like as you but also be open to learning like, oh, this is what I did wrong. I didn't realize that I did this wrong. And then
Mhm.
also learn the
Yes.
basics, like no 3 act structure, no um 8
Mhm.
sequence structure, no the story circle, no different types of ways to get into a story and like try to incorporate them all.
Yes.
There's there while
Mhm.
I will say that there's obviously a wrong way to write a screenplay. Like it's not prose. There's no there's no
Uh-huh.
real wrong way to approach it. Like if you know that you're looking for to write a screenplay, then there's no like right method. There's no like, oh, I have to have the pinch and the hiss and the, that. Like write what you're gonna write and then revise it
Mhm.
and then revise it again and then rewrite it again and then rewrite it again until you get it where you want it to be. That's all. That's all it is. It's just that
Yes.
if anybody tells you anything else than that, they are
Is,
not
yes.
telling you the truth. There's no secret bullet. There's just writing and rewriting and rewriting
No.
and rewriting, and that's it.
Mhm. Yep. It's great. I love it. I love it. All right. And so our last little bit. So what was your favorite part about writing for the Ink to Screen this time? This September challenge, not October.
Uh,
I'm sure we'll delve into that later,
I
but
was like, oh well, um, for September, my favorite. So my favorite thing was just cutting loose. I'll be perfectly like I. This was it was the first ink to screen back, and I just wanted to cut loose. I just wanted to be silly
Mhm.
and have like just a really fun time with it, and like just be goofy. Um, I one of the people that kind of like proofread for me was like, "This might be a little too on the nose," and I was like, "I know it's absurd, and I want it to be absurd. I want it to be ridiculous. And so
Mhm.
like just the ability to
Mhm.
cut loose and just be as goofy and nonsensical as
Mhm.
possible, and like it won. So I was like, there you go. But also like it was the fun. That was I didn't think I was gonna win. I thought it was so goofy. I was like, but I'm just having fun with it, and and then one of the people that read.
Well, I think any
Oh
yeah.
no, you
Mhm.
say.
Mhm. Go ahead. Oh, no,
I
go
said
ahead.
one of
Who
yeah,
read
one
for
of the
you?
people that read for me is like, like days later, it's like I couldn't stop thinking about that script. I was like, "Are you serious? It's just so goofy. It's so goofy." But yeah,
See? Well, and I think that's what shone through. Like I think I did some people like it was so like on the nose, but I'm like, but that was the genius of it too, because it was a simple picture and it was about new beginnings. And but the fact that I mean, you took it and you ran with it and you made it so silly and you enveloped the idea of it. I really liked that, and in a way that nobody else really did. Like, I mean, there were a lot of really good scripts. I mean, we had the top five, of course. We had really great scripts, but it was the encompassing of it, which I really was different, that I really, really enjoyed. And I thought, and again, your layering of your characters was different, was better than the some of the other writers too. So that was a big thing. And I put in their comments like a good thing is to work on is to layer your characters and bring in a little bit more, even in 5 pages, because I know it can be done
yeah,
because
yeah,
Joseph did it.
I mean, like if your character has a quirk, give them that quirk. I don't and like I don't want it to make it seem like that's
Yes.
like the golden
Mm-mm.
rule of like this is how you write characters, right? Like I don't know. I just thought it was cool. I thought it was a good thing to kind of speak to his character. I don't know everything. If I did, I might have more
Mm-mm.
money and I would be writing full time. And not, having to commute 45
Right.
minutes to work every day. Um, but
Hmm.
um, but yeah, like it's but it's just and really I would say just let yourself have fun. Like that was
Hmm.
the biggest thing for me right now for this one. Like I didn't even write it to win. Like the fact that it won was a shock to me. I wrote it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny to do this really ridiculous thing. I thought it was to be perfectly honest, Amber, I kind of thought it was like a troll. Like I was like, "Oh, she did that hand thing last time."
You did? Yes.
I got something for her. And like it just make it completely
Yep.
ridiculous. And like so the fact that it won was like, "Oh, for real?" So yeah,
Well,
just have fun. Like don't try don't think about winning.
yes.
Don't think about winning. If you really want to have fun with it, if you really
Mhm.
want to enjoy writing,
Mhm.
don't think about winning. Think about what you're
Yes.
doing in the moment. Do you
Uh-huh.
enjoy the script that you're writing? If you
Yes.
enjoy it, keep going. If you hate it, erase it and start over.
Yes. That's the best. Absolutely. Absolutely, because I think that's where we have the hardest, like when we're made to do something or something we don't want to do and it doesn't, talk to us, that's the hardest is to write then. That's when it feels like torture, like your a private trainer is making you do burpees.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
get away from
right.
me.
The only the only
Right.
the only caveat
Ah.
there is if you're
Mhm.
getting paid to do something, then just plug away at it.
That's
But
true.
also, find if you can, if you're
Yes.
getting paid, if you get blessed to the point where you can get paid to do writing, which is great, I tell you. Find a
Mhm.
thread that is uniquely you and pull at that thread. Like
Mhm.
I know, like when I wrote Half Sisters, and I don't want to say too much about it because it's not distributed yet. But I will say that it dealt
Yeah.
with race, which is a very touchy topic for me, right?
Yeah.
Um, and
Mhm.
but like there was a thread in there about like absentee father, which I thought was like, yeah, this is what I want. I want to
Mhm.
explore this a little bit more, and I pulled at that thread, and it
Yeah.
became like the like one of the major beats of the story. And it gave it some more heft, it gave it some more weight. So just like if it's something that you're writing for
Mhm.
yourself, just don't think about how good it is. Just write. If it's something you're writing for somebody
Yeah.
else, and you
Just
just like,
right.
I want to, impress somebody, then find the thread that
Mhm.
most appeals to you, and like pluck at it and pluck at it and pluck at it and pluck at it until you are finished. And then, but whatever you do, make it personal. Just make it personal. Make it about something that you love.
Yeah. Yes.
That's really, yeah.
Yes, because yeah, because it shows through. Like it literally comes through in your writing. I mean, I'm pretty quick and noticing that. And I like a secret. I'm as an actor, like do a lot of acting. Like when I read these, I do get drawn to characters. So I'm pretty sure with the people who've won, it's usually because their characters are. And I mean, I love story too, but characters are what really draw you in because it's like, ooh, I would love to play that part. Like I would love, as an actor and like or a director, like directing that, like telling somebody what it's about is that's where it's at too. So that's why I try to bring a different perspective than just being at the keyboard or
Right.
or there. Well, thank you,
Thank
Joseph,
you.
so much for this, for taking the time. Yes. I can't wait. I have not read the October ones yet. I still have time. So I'll be diving into those after
Yeah.
Halloween.
Well,
And I can't wait to read yours,
well,
everybody's.
I know that this one was a little bit like this one. I actually did rush. I didn't proofread it. I wrote it like
Mm.
at the 0
No.
hour on Sunday night because it was just a crazy hectic week. Because I had to get my kid ready
Mhm.
for outdoor school and all this other stuff. So like Sunday night,
Yeah.
I I put everything down, and it came out how it
Mhm.
came out. And like the
But
log line might be
but yes.
terrible too. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh well, I don't know.
Well, you'll well, yes, as you know, I'm like throwing everything into a folder, nothing has names on it, so I mean, I don't pull any punches anyway, but
Yeah, well,
we'll see how it comes
I
through. Mhm.
hopefully, I don't think I'm gonna be in the top 5 this time, but it was still fun. It was still fun to write. Like it was still a fun write. So,
See?
and
Fun.
like I don't
You
I
see?
don't have
Fun.
any regrets.
Awesome. Good. No
No
regrets.
regrets.
Write a lot.
No
No regrets.
regrets.
Have fun and talk to a lot of
Talk to a
people.
lot of people. Yeah.
Yes, those are Joseph's. All right, great. Thank you so much, Joseph. Oh my god, that was so much fun. You guys totally missed it. We talked for a long time after that. We had a really good time. He gave some amazing tips. Like I love listening to that stuff to everybody who's different. I think that's a huge thing as writers. Sometimes we get so involved in our own worlds that we don't expand and we kind of miss out. Like I think Joseph and a lot of others have really great groups, and if you're able to do that, that's amazing. Get into a group, discuss your ideas, really work things out. I really like that. And again, you can read his winning script right on the website, www.thescriptmistress.com/ink winners, INKWINNERS. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, if you want to stay up to date on these podcast events and any upcoming challenges, if you can't do through the holidays, we're going to keep going. So get on my mailing list as soon as possible at www.thescriptmistress.com. And you can get right up there, log in there, or not log in. You can get, I have this whole episode on video too. If you're watching, if you're just kind of listening on the podcast, it's that thescriptmistress.com/scene 6, the number 6. And for your enjoyment. And along, I do have a free logline download cheat sheet for your help. Like you can totally download that for free if you're having issues with your log lines. You just want something clear cut, plug and play cheat sheet, really good for you guys. I always love ending with a writing action to keep you guys motivated and on task because like Joseph said, write every day. So writing action, choose one day this week. Mark it on your calendar. Make it a priority. Observe your everyday environment. Like Joseph has a 45-minute commute. I take walks around a hotel near my work and just take a look and take a couple pictures throughout your day of your day-to-day life. At the end of the day, look at these pictures and find one that inspires you to write a few pages. Maybe it'll inspire a new log line or a concept you never really considered, but really take a look at it. I'm not saying you have to write a whole new, but it's just a good thing to really get your mind flowing. And again, like Joseph said, just write. You can share your pictures with us on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/ink to screen, or email me your pictures or your thoughts or anything like that. Amber@thescriptmistress.com. And if I really like your pictures, I might even consider it your image for a future ink to screen challenge for our challenge prompt. Yes, if everybody's listening, definitely. And again, the next Ink to Screen Screenwriting Challenge is now open for registration. I opened up the doors today for everybody. The finalists for the October challenge will be announced November 13th and the winner on November 14th. And all the feedback will go out pretty much that afternoon on November 14th for everybody that submitted a script. Just in time for the November challenge to begin on November 16th. So mark your calendars for that, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, like a week before Thanksgiving, the week before. Check it all out at www.thescriptmistress.com/ink to screen. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. I truly value any feedback. If you have an idea for a podcast that might help you in the future, you can always email me again at amber@thescriptmistress.com. Like and follow the show wherever you are listening, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Like it, subscribe. I try to get one out to you every week. And talk soon. And until then, happy writing. Write.